This is Frank. Frank is not a nice person. In fact, Frank is not a person at all. Frank is more a figment of my imagination. But not just any figment. Frank is a theoretical representation of all the aspects of my baser personality, which I find to be personally abhorrent. For a better perspective, allow me to start at the beginning. In 2007, shortly after purchasing a Nintendo Wii, I was playing in the Me Maker program and a sudden thought occurred to me. I will create an effigy of oddity, a conglomeration of strange-looking features which I may look upon and smile with glee. And so I did, and from my efforts came forth this creature. And I named him, fondly, Frank. His long, bulbous nose holding up ridiculous red glasses, his overly generous smile hidden slightly behind a bushy goatee. All seemed well with the world. My creation was wonderful. He wobbled pleasingly as I put him through his bowling paces in Wii Sports Bowling. He waddled laughably while running the bases in Wii Sports Baseball. And he waded buoyantly through the beaches of Mario Kart Wii. But slowly my delight began to fade. I realized something. That every time I played my favorite games while using Frank as my digital representation, I lost. No matter the game, no matter my competence at playing it, no matter how enjoyable it might have been to watch my goofy-looking avatar complete the tasks involved, the fact remained that playing as Frank degraded my ability to perform to my peak. And so I began to dislike my creation. And with the rise of my ire toward Frank, there was a direct inverse correlation with my usage of his person. And Frank fell into abject disuse. Months and years passed, and I grew as a person and as a gamer. No longer would I be one to ascribe blame to an emotionless representation of zeros and ones. Now I would be a free individual capable of making my own decisions, and of shaping my own destiny by the extents of my personal dedication and perseverance. And then came the WiiU, a new platform with a new interface, and with it a promise of great and wondrous things which I might be able to do. Naturally, I snapped it up as quickly as possible and began porting over as much of my old data as I could. And with that data came a long-forgotten file, a memory of that long-derided character I had known as Frank. When I discovered him there, I was at first surprised that he had not been deleted. Then I was reminiscent of the foolishness of my comparative youth, to have ascribed any malignity to his existence. And finally I felt in myself a spark of competition, a desire to prove wrong the foregone conclusions of gaming sessions past. I failed. Still, I found myself completely befuddled by this odd and portly-looking sprite. No matter what I did, no matter which game I played, no matter how many times I repeated a level, still my comparative skill was ineffective in overcoming the curse of Frank. And thus was my ire against him renewed. I thought of deleting him 1,000 times, and 1,000 times I nearly did. But for all my plans to destroy him, I could not seem to bring myself to do it. Deletion, of course, being of itself far too innocuous a fate for this most wretched thing. And that is when it occurred to me. A just and well-crafted end for this abomination. No, I would not destroy him. Rather, I would immortalize him. I would imbue him with the fullness of my own hatred and malice, my dark desires and my malignant tendencies, the fullness of the undesirable qualities which comprised my base nature. I resolved in that one moment to forevermore, without hesitation or restraint, without trepidation or remorse, and with full confidence and conviction, to in all opportunities great or small, malignant or benign, joyous or sorrowful, to simply blame Frank.